Well, this is it. We are at the end of our cereals. We just finished off the wheat. We had about 10 acres over there of spots that we just left. That was 10 days ago or even longer. Just some of the low spots are still pretty green, still high moisture. As well as this spot, there's about, I don't know, 25 acres or so that's usually, there's kind of some gravel under here, which you would think would make it for a lighter crop, but it seems like the water, it's almost like subsurface drip irrigation in here. Like water from the hills just kind of comes through here and the crop really hangs on. So we got probably 20 acres left over here, another 2 or 3 over there, another 2 or 3 way at the top end, and we'll get all that done tonight, barring breakdowns. We'll switch out some concaves, change over some settings, and we're gonna get into the canola just to the west of the farm. You can see the farm is those trees up there. Dad's got canola there. It looks really good. So we'll see what it's running out before we get down in the stuff down south that kind of looks like crap. It's got Sclerotinia in it, and then it got flattened when that tornado went through. The tornado wasn't on the ground when it went through there, but it was blowing. See, Dad's ripping away way up there. He's gonna head off to, like I said, there's a couple acres way up at the north end. And yeah, that makes us, if we get done our cereals, that makes us about half done. I want to say there was 2,400 acres-ish of, I can't remember exactly off the top of my head, of cereals, and about 2,700 of canola. So we got done cereals last night, which is great. Yields were average or maybe even slightly below, which isn't a massive shock. Man, we had potential early on with, we were having rain every third day, and flag leaves as long as my arm. But then the rain shut off and the heat came, and we had 3 weeks of plus 30, and it just fizzled off the tops. One more rain towards the end of July, like 20th, 25th, we'd be looking at 80, 90 bushel on a lot of stuff. That's the way it goes. A lot of my stuff down south did get more rain and had it in the ground, which is rare because down south is lighter land and it drains. Probably the major thing that we have to do is change concaves. And now that we've switched over to the mad concaves, we only have to pull out the, I have to look at what it is. I think this is a 225 and I think that's a 375. We only have to pull out the 225 rather than what we did before was we had a very different setup. But now all that we got to do is take that guy out, put that one in. I know there's some guys that only do it on the right side, which, you know, we're tempted to try, but worked really well last year like this. So we got to change that. We got to change a few combine settings as far as the pre-cleaner. We have to drop our contour buddies for now going down south. Once we get into the canola down there that's blown flat, we'll probably bring them back to where it is right now. But this stuff up north here is standing pretty good. It looks really good. So do that, and you know, change a lot of settings that are changed from the cab, your sieve, your rotor speed, your fan speed. Yeah, and we'll get all that. Something we found today, and you know, we got other stuff too, general maintenance, a little bit of greasing, moving augers. We're gonna set up in one of these bins, got to grease that thing up. That guy's pretty much ready to go, just needs some def. Something we just found today, I've been going along and tightening, is a lot of the ones that have the duck feet on are missing a bolt, or they've loosened off. There. So Dad ran to town to get some more bolts or screws or whatever they're called. I guess they are a screw, plastic screw. Well, we got Zach set up to haul the grain cart to the semi that's over the auger. We're just right by the yard, so I buggered off. I'm down at my canola plots. Don't know if you can hear from the wind, but it's got that nice rattle, like everything's ready. There was definitely some Sclerotinia in it. I don't know how much to say for losses. And let's take a look. You can see she got blown pretty flat in places. We'll set header pretty low. There's, at least out here, there's not a ton of rocks. I don't like cutting canola 3 inches, but it also looks worse where this plot is, or this walkway. But there are spots where it swirled pretty hard and made a mess. So these 400s, I don't know, they seem to have a lot of, I guess this is the 800. That one was 401. Seem to have a lot of Sclerotinia to it, but the pods are still some good seeds in it, even at the kind of peppery ones in that. Not bad, actually. Hard to do it with the wind. There's some nice big pods in places. You know, that's good seeds. But you can see a lot of the top ones, just there's really nothing in them. I don't know what to think for yield loss. I would guess at least 20%. I would say maximum of 1/3, but what do I know? This is the 800. It doesn't really look any different lodging wise. Hard to call it lodging when it was essentially a plow in. Like, I think the tornado, it wasn't on the ground, but it kind of went through like probably a mile to the west of the yard. But we probably had to have had 100-mile-an-hour winds. But she's good and ready to go. I think we'll tell everybody that we'll move down here tomorrow. Grab pods. Yeah, it's just some of these pods don't have much in them. Oop, that one didn't come off very good. That one didn't either. That one's not fully ripe. That one's got a lot in it. But I think some of the pods are just going to have peppery canola. And that's just life. Wishing I would have had the opportunity to spray, but it just came on too fast. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Oh, look at that. That is science. Well, we got her licked. We were very fortunate once again. This is the second time we've had a tire crack or a rim crack on this machine. We've never had one on that, which makes you wonder is, you know, did they upsize the hopper in this thing? Because I think you can get an extra 50 or 60 bushel in this compared to my 8230 over there. And, you know, just not do the math on anything else. It cracked the previous go around with a 35-foot header, so you can't really blame the bigger header for that. Yeah, I know I checked yesterday when I was just kind of screwing around, and I just randomly checked. Dad actually said he checked this morning and he didn't see a crack. So he did say he thought he heard something and he should have stopped, but he was like, there's just a little bit left in the field, and he pushed it. And he shouldn't have, but that's the way things go sometimes. And anyhow, we're lucky. Blake had a spare one kicking around, so we just bought it off of him, and Corey came out. Corey from OK Tire in Carlisle said he'd just gotten back to the shop. I can be out there in 20 minutes, he said. Well, hell, we don't even have the new tire yet, so I had to scramble and run to Blake's, pick up a tire and rim. Really didn't need the tire, just wanted the rim. But so we got that on. We're back in gear. We still have, you know, good conditions for harvest. Don't know how late we'll go, but it's going through pretty good. Not screaming yields, but pretty crazy. Not very often the headland's worse than the main field. I was only getting high 30s doing the headland before. So yeah, we're having okay yield in the canola. Something I'm just kind of cluing into. I'm pretty sure this is the first time I've ever run a 40-foot header. Because I've ran this combine before with the 35-foot, I know. But I don't think I've ran it since, because this is actually my header, the 40-footer. And I'm in Dad's combine. Can't really tell, but it does have a little different trim, and it's got a leather seat, and a little more horsepower, a little bigger hopper. And I like the 40-foot. I just think it's a really good match for the 8 Series combine. I don't, 45 maybe, I don't know. I'm quite happy with this 40-footer. I am kind of just thinking now, it's like, because I'm planning on upgrading, I'm hoping to upgrade the 8230 this year. I'd like to get into an 8250 with the automation. But after today, I'm sitting there going, well, I might have to take those rims on and get them. There's a guy not far away that he welds a plate on them and beefs them up a lot, and I might have to do that if I choose to go down that road, because this combine that Dad has, this 8240, is spec'd about how I'd like it to be spec'd, as far as the size of the auger, the lift cylinders, the leather cab, horsepower, the folding top. Yeah, I just like the automation too. But we've had this thing for, I think this is the 4th year we've had it, and we've done 2 rims in it. Don't like that ratio. Huh. Anyhow, that's what's on my mind right now. Ooh, there was a groan there. Well, good morning. We seem to be in the middle of a bad run of a lot of small issues. The flavor of the morning today is center canvas ties. That one was outright missing. That one was hanging on by a thread. It looks like there might have gotten a rock, just a small rock back there. This, probably the same thing, had a rock caught at some point and wore through, but it's not all the way through, so we'll keep running that. And geez, there's been just, last night with the cracked rim there, that was a more major one. But we've had sensor issues on both combines. We had a finger get out of time on this one. And what it actually did is it popped out of here, punched a small hole there. We got it folded over and welded. And then it hit the seam. And we had a bunch of fingers that were broken. What else? One semi's acting up a little bit. Nothing, I don't think anything serious, but it could be as serious as injectors. I think it's just a fuel issue. Like maybe there's somehow air getting into the system. It still starts good, runs good, it's just lacking power. Like there's no rough idle or nothing. Yeah, just there's been so many small things. Well, a lot of it's been on this one, and nothing like saying it's a lemon.